Okay, in section 4.1.RA-2 interactive assignment, a pediatrician wants to determine the relation that may exist between a child's height and a head circumference. She randomly selects 8 children, measures their height and head circumference, and obtains the data shown in a table. The first column is the height in inches. The second column is the head and circumference. If the pediatrician wants to use height to predict head circumference, determine which variable is the explanatory variable and which is the response variable. Now, the response variable is the variable whose value can be explained by the value of the explanatory variable. In other words, the response variable is the dependent variable while the explanatory variable is the independent variable. Height is the explanatory variable because the pediatrician wishes to use the height to explain the head circumference. Since the height is the explanatory variable, then the head circumference is the response variable. Now we want to be able to draw a scatter diagram. A scatter diagram is a graph that shows the relationship between two quantitative variables measured on the same individual. Each individual in the data set is represented by a point in the scatter diagram. The explanatory variable is plotted on the horizontal axis, and the response variable is plotted on the vertical axis. But make sure not to connect the points when drawing a scatter diagram. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this data into StatCrunch. So here's the problem. Go ahead to the corner, open up in StatCrunch. Okay, so here's our data. We see that we have height is the first column and the head circumference is the second column. So in order to do this, we're going to follow the instructions. So we're going to select graph and then scroll all the way down to scatter plot. And now the x variable is the explanatory variable, and the explanatory variable that we defined in part A is the height in inches. The response variable is y, and the response variable is the head circumference. Okay, and then we just need to scroll down to the bottom part where it says display. We want to make sure it says points. And then if we want to label the x-axis, we can label the x-axis as our height, which is in inches. And then we can label the y-axis as the circumference. Also in inches. And then we can put a title if we want there as well. So let's select compute, and then you'll notice that this matches the actual scatter diagram that we have here.